Hello, and welcome to a small special of the For Your Ears Only podcast. We're back on the couch, but this is a very, very brief Q&A. This is from our good friend and fan of the podcast, Gordon Best, and his Instagram page.
Dream Menu.
Yes. So
thanks, Gordon.
There'll be something here in the video for you to go and look at Dream Menu. It's very, very interesting concept. A lot of people involved, and it got us thinking. But no one wants to hear what we want to eat.
No, because we're not famous or
no, we're not that
interesting in any way.
But there was an idea around. We've been doing this podcast for a couple of years now. We know a bit about James Bond. Jack knows far much more than I do. What would a James Bond menu look like? Who would be there? Who would die? No, I don't know.
In my head, I've got this "come dine with me" concept here.
It could be like that. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I kind of went for.
Only one will leave.
Who will leave with £1,000?
That's the next movie.
Yeah.
Not starring Aaron Taylor-Johnson. But there's a series of questions. Go over to the page and have a look at it, and we've answered it, but we thought we would actually film our answers as well. So we'd go through that. Question one is a nice and simple one. How did you meet? Tell us about your page. How did we meet? The dark alley.
Nah, that's a story for a different time. We met in the womb.
Yeah, we are. 2 years of a difference.
Yes.
1 year?
Two. I'm going to say two to make myself feel better.
You're very young. We met in the BBs, as I was going to say that is the truth, but yes, met in the BBs when we were like...
The Boys Brigade, if anyone didn't know that.
Yeah, 12, maybe? Yes.
Yeah, Derek was older.
Yes, again, I was older. I am an old...
He's still older.
I am an old man. We met the BBs when we were very young. We never went to the same school, but this was the Boys Brigade, and we seen each other strictly once a week.
Strictly every Friday.
Only. And then after that, we went into a band, and we played for many years.
A rock and roll band.
Yes.
Off the back of that.
Will we let them? No, I don't know. We did a James Bond music video.
Yeah.
And other music videos.
James.
Don't trust the papers.
James Bond has been through our career and friendship for a long time. And
a few years ago, it was actually Christmas when we were in the pub afterwards. We were like, we should do a James Bond podcast. And a few months later, we did.
we did literally 3 months later.
My cousin Ben, who was a producer of podcasts, and could say, this is what you do, this is what you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Try this. And that was March of 2023. And here we are, March of 2026. I am still older.
Yeah, but I'm the age Derek was when we started.
Yes, that is true. I feel terrible now. But what we do is we started off by reviewing the James Bond movies. There's obviously only 25 of them. We did 25 episodes.
And then we panicked.
Yes, we panicked because we thought, what are we going to do now?
It
did take us a good few years to go through them. We did a couple of specials. We did some recasting specials, which I really enjoyed. We had a couple of interviews. We have started to do interviews again. We did drink specials as well, which I remembered today. I was looking through one of the answers.
So did I.
We've done
that.
2 drinks specials. Yeah, we both forgot that because we were both very drunk.
There's a reason we forgot that. Yeah.
So that was actually quite a funny one.
And recently we've now done the video games.
Yes.
That season. The next season.
Video games in opposite order. Yeah, that's what we've been doing, and that's if you want to go and see us, then you can. Obviously, you're here watching this video, you know who we are.
Hopefully.
But if you've come here from
the outside world,
yeah, the outside world, then welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to this world of nonsense.
It doesn't get any better.
No, it does not. Okay.
What starter with James Bond?
Yes.
What's his favourite starter dish? Well, when I...
well, if you look at the novel.
Well, actually, yes. I'm going to go by the books. Because because they were written in the 1950s, when you still had...
Racism.
I was going to say the other R word, which is rationing. You had the 2 R's, racism and rationing. Yeah, so in the 1950s, you still had rationing, so there's a lot of detailed descriptions about the food he had, where he ate it, who he ate it with, how it tasted, because they were all quite exotic foods.
All right.
So that was kind of a part of the intrigue and why the books were so popular. So obviously, I think we could all probably guess this.
Lentil soup.
It's going to be peas and mashed potato. No, cut that.
No.
It's going to be caviar.
For starter.
Yes, yeah.
Is
I think you
caviar
always
like
have it.
the posh patty?
No,
No.
I think pate is posh.
They both go in toast.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's actually a description in the Goldfinger book about exactly how he wants it. It's caviar on hot toast with a side dish of chopped onions and another side dish of a grated hard-boiled egg, which he puts on top of the caviar.
That is the most
Horrible.
autistic meal I've ever heard.
It's a horrible thing to think of it. I'm allergic to eggs, but yeah,
That is that's choice.
that's his favourite way of eating caviar.
So when you said the toast, I was like, toast is warm, and then you said chopped onion.
Yes.
Just a chopped onion
Mm-hmm.
and grated egg.
And a
He must have-
grated
he must have
hard-boiled egg.
The worst breath.
Two separate pots with the grated white of the egg and the grated yolk. Very autistic as well.
Yeah.
Separated, and then he would put it all together. That was how he describes how he wants his starter to the waiter at the restaurant in Goldfinger.
That's like you're trying to just annoy the kitchen staff.
Yes, it has to be this specific way. I think
Okay.
he probably thought he was impressing whoever he was with at dinner, but really he's just annoyed every single person.
I want a grated egg yolk.
Only
No.
the yolk.
No, I'm sorry. If it doesn't say that in the menu, you're not getting that. Who's got the grate? I need to grate this egg yolk. Oh, well.
Right, so, and that's kind of how it's going to be from now on with all my answers.
Very specific. I don't have as much detail with my answer, but I am doing the main course for James Bond. So what would James Bond choose as his main course? Noted throughout the novels, and I think actually once in one of the movies, the thing that he seems to go to is grilled sole.
Yeah. Is that from Russia with Love in a train?
Is it the train?
Because, yeah, it must be because they have fish.
I think that might be it. Yeah, grilled sole. He always has fish. If it says if he's eating alone, but it's just most of the time he would go for grilled fish. I thought
Okay.
it'd be something like, but there is stuff mentioned like steak and lamb and beef and different things like that. But grilled sole specifically with champagne seems
Okay.
to be the thing that he would go for.
Sounds great.
No more details, just grilled sole.
A grilled sole. I'll have
No, grated sole.
that. No grated sole.
No, just grilled sole. So that's what we would have with a side of champagne, which is technically one of my answers for the other thing.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a little
Yes. So
subtle
now,
foreshadowing.
and speaking of side, you're doing the side.
Yeah, this was maybe a lot harder because there wasn't a lot of. There's no descriptions or visuals in the movies about what he has on the side. Probably the most famous or the most recognisable for me would be Casino Royale, where he's just survived and he's going and he's kind of feasting after beating Le Chiffre. But even then, I can't remember. I think he's just having caviar then.
I think it's just caviar, yeah.
So that,
Well,
yeah,
does
that
that really Daniel Craig laugh?
yes, that leads credence to my previous answer. But anyway, I put just a green salad because that's what was written
There
in.
has been salad, yeah. Salad is mentioned.
That is written in the books. A green salad, and again, because it's the 50s,
An
and
egg.
everybody wants to know how does James Bond have his salad. That Ian Fleming writes a very specific recipe for the French dressing that goes on top.
Right.
It's a very mustard heavy, and I'm not going to read out the recipe because I've
Read that for yourself.
yes, you'll have to go Google it or read the
Spare
book.
the audience that.
Yeah, but it's a very specific French dressing, heavy on the mustard, green salad to side. Probably would be a good accompaniment to your soul.
Yeah, something quite bitter.
This is very, very old, man. Which I guess
Many
somebody from the 50s is.
He's many different reiterations. And finally, dessert, which is a nice simple one. most of the dessert that he has is fruit. It's not anything overly sweet. It's not big fancy cakes and such. Very unlike myself. So he would have chunks of pineapple.
That sounds very war. Like, but post-war out of a tin.
Just have it. Yeah, it's like lots of fruit cocktail. Chunks of pineapple, probably that, because that was a drink of his he really enjoyed.
I think that's probably good if you're a spy not to have big slices of cake
Yes.
or trifles and that kind of thing at every dinner.
Jumping about.
Yeah.
It did actually make me think. I was like, it's been a while since I actually had like chunks of pineapple. I like pineapple, but
Pineapple rings in a can.
yeah,
Yeah.
pure poverty.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like it
exactly.
slides out like spam.
It was probably great when the books were written.
Yeah, but yeah, that is the starter, main, side, and dessert. The next question, which I kind of hinted on there, was the dream drinks. Now, we said before we were going to do this that we're going to try and take a couple from our drink specials
Yeah.
linked here,
Yeah. Watch
Um,
below.
and we would take the three that were our favourites. I've only picked two
Okay.
because I've
so
already
you
I've picked champagne because it said champagne has to go with the sauce, so that's one of the drinks that goes with
Okay.
it. What's your
Right.
two drinks?
Champagne's not really a cocktail though, but I'll give it to you.
Oh, I thought
Um,
it was just drinks.
I thought you said cocktails.
It could be cocktails.
Cocktails are drinks,
Okay.
but not all drinks are cocktails.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So,
Anyway, so I think we'll get the obvious one out of the way and say that a vodka martini is a drink of choice
okay.
because it's in every
Even
book,
though we
every
both absolutely
movie.
hated it.
We hated it personally. I'm actually a very big fan of a gin martini,
Okay. I've
a,
never
a,
tried
dirt,
gin
a
martini.
dirty gin martini
Okay.
on a Saturday
With
night.
olive juice.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's very very good.
Saturday and a Monday morning.
And
Start
a
the week
Tuesday.
off.
That's a classic James Bond.
Okay.
Out of the James Bond cocktail book, which will appear on screen here. No. Out of the James Bond cocktail book that we made for our drink special, I think my favourite was the Golden Gun.
Okay. That's what I've got. So
Good.
I've got the Golden Gun.
That was the pineapple
For-
drink.
Yes. Golden Gun was generally I actually made the Golden Gun at a party like a month afterwards, and I was like, you need to try this. It was so good. It was so yeah, that was the Roger era.
That was right.
My
that's
other
right.
drink comes from the Sean
Oh,
and George era, so I'm
Okay.
intrigued to see what your other drink is.
right. Mine was the mint julep.
The Mitchell. Okay,
we
so
are in the same
so there we go.
wavelength.
So we've actually got to get the three drinks. We get the vodka martini, the Golden Gun, and the mint julep.
The mint julep, famously in the Goldfinger the movie,
Yes.
actually a really nice drink.
Yeah, the
That
mint
was
julep was.
probably the one and only time I've had it. Was when we made it.
I don't think it's made anywhere else. It was very much like it for me. It was like an old fashioned, except with mint. So you like an old fashioned, you'll like this. The Golden Gun was just a completely fictional
Yes.
drink. I don't even remember what was in it. But
No.
I remember there was bar pineapple.
Bars,
soda.
pineapple.
But it was really, really nice, and it was good. So, yes, if we're not really describing them that well, go and watch your drink specials, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. So that's our three drinks. Now, the most important one, this is a dinner party, so there's got to be 3 guests,
Yes.
and we came up with our 3 guests. Who's our first guest? Don't know what the order is, but...
I don't know. I can't remember. I'm going to say
Okay, so I'm the one that's got it written
You've
down.
got
So
it written
our
down.
3 guests, we were thinking along the lines of adversaries,
yes.
but ones that were matched rather than being like iconic. I suppose some of them are iconic, but being matched together. So we have Alec Trevelyan, Red Grant, and Scaramanga. All killers.
Yeah, they're like the evil James Bond.
Yes, especially Trevelyan.
Yeah, they're basically the flipped mirror universe version.
Yeah, because it's just Red Grant is just the Soviet version.
Uh-huh.
Alec Trevelyan is the technically Soviet flipped, and Scaramanga is just a killer.
Yeah, a trained
Yeah.
assassin.
So that is the dinner. We've got 4 of them, and then we have
Great conversation.
Who's going to have the best taste at the table? We both agreed it would probably be Scaramanga.
Yeah, he
Um,
kills for money. He's He's got that taste for luxury.
He knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Gadgets. So what gadget would James Bond bring to the table?
Right. This also depends on who's making the dinner. But I'm going to go with that it's not James Bond cooking.
No.
I'm going to say it's the Rolex with the Geiger counter in it to make sure that it's not poison.
Oh, that's quite good, actually. Well, see, we both went on the security side because
Uh-huh.
I stuck with the X-ray glasses to see who was packing.
Yes. Good.
Okay, those are two good things. Maybe both. There's
Both
two
of
of us,
them
but
would be
both
good.
answers. Okay, we're going to put both down for that. Where is the meal? I had to think about this, about where I'd want it to be, and then I always came back to the mountain layer in our Majesty's Secret Service.
All right.
Because
Okay.
it's scenic and there's a dinner there and
Yeah, that's
stuff,
true.
and that's what I always
It's nothing
went-
to do with all the girls being there. No.
What did you think?
I was going to say on the beach of James Bond Island, the Scaramanga
That's what
Island.
we did say, yeah. Because there was a dinner there as
They,
well.
they did have food there, yeah.
Very different places. One is really sunny and warm and sea level, and one is cold and
And
snowy
high.
and high up. We'll flip a coin for that one.
We'll
See where
flip
that
a
one
coin,
goes.
yeah. We could have two
Uh,
dinners.
We
If
could
it,
do
if it goes well,
Yes,
there's always a second
No,
date.
people must die. Which henchman is serving? I've went kind of left field with this one.
Right, okay, go for it.
I put Godbinder from Octopussy.
Okay.
Because he does serve the table at one point.
Right, okay. Well, I've also gone pretty on the nose with that and say Mr. Winton, Mr. Kidd.
I was going to put them, and I thought, I don't know if I can put two. Okay, 'cause
Oh, they
do
come
sell
as
it in-
one.
They do sell it in at the end.
They have the, what is it, La Bombe?
La Bombe, yes. I think it chucked off a boat. Maybe,
Although they're pretty bad sommeliers because they give them the wrong wine and that's how he catches them.
oh yeah,
So,
fired.
they're literally thrown overboard.
Okay,
It's probably better to have two servers than one.
yeah, that's true. But then two that don't know what they're doing.
That's
Mr.
true.
Wind's hair would get in everything.
Yeah, and his mustache.
Yeah, Godbinder has a beard. There's hair everywhere.
Oh, they need hairnets. They can't work in our restaurant.
That's too much.
Both good answers.
I'll have to flip a coin on that one
Flip again.
again. Right.
You judge.
Who is cooking the meal? I think we can have agreed on this one. It would have to be Q.
Yes.
I thought along the lines of it'd be interesting being Q like Heston Blumenthal,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not just a cook that food. It's like I'm going to cook it with liquid nitrogen.
Like a deconstructed
Yes.
steak.
Yes. Yeah, I think something like that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, very, very naughties.
We spoke about the dress code. You gave a suggestion, but we just wrote it down. Hawaiian shirts.
Well, if it's going to be on the beach, then it has to be Hawaiian
No,
shirts.
it's the top of the mountain.
Oh, if
Hawaiian shirts.
okay, top of the
I think
mountain.
Hawaiian shirts is fine. Let everyone have their novelty.
Yeah, show your. Red Grant can't be all serious. Surely he's got a funny side.
Yeah. The song in the background. We discussed two.
Mm-hmm.
Avro from Russia with Love. We also had On a Master's Secret Service.
The
Did
instrumental.
you have any other options?
No, it has to be one of those two, I think.
I think it has to be from Russia with Love then, because it can't be a Master's Secret Service if it's on the mountaintop.
Oh, you're
because
right.
that's
Okay,
too much.
they'll realise.
Because they'll realise they're on a movie set. They'll have to leave. Okay, from Russia with Love, because that ties in a bit.
And
This
it's
is next
very
year
romantic.
question. Which dish does 007 refuse to touch?
So if you read the books or watch the films, he doesn't really. He's always ordering the food. Nobody ever orders for him, and then to give him the chance to reject anything. But it is specifically written in the books that he detests tea. Doesn't like tea, and he's always grown up drinking coffee. He thinks. It does say in the books that tea was the downfall of the British Empire. That was the reason for the downfall of the British Empire was tea. Apparently, that's written in the books.
Thanks, Ian.
I think we know who imperialist Ian over here.
Yes. So
But-
tea.
But
Roast
yeah,
or tea.
I think coffee because the background to that story is that his housekeeper, whoever raised him, didn't like tea and only drank coffee, and that's rubbed off on him, and it's just been a lifelong thing that he's never had tea.
So no tea, but no food that he would say no to.
He'd probably, yeah, high calorie, high carb.
Deep
Food.
fried. Deep
Deep
fried
fried.
grilled sole. Deep fried
Maybe he
Mars
wouldn't
bar.
like a KFC or anything like that.
Blue Lagoon. I think he'd like a Blue Lagoon.
He is half Scottish.
So he eats everything,
He eats everything.
but doesn't drink tea.
Doesn't drink tea.
God forbid.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Very English. Who picks up the bill? Again, I think we were quite comfortable with the
Yeah.
richest one there. We'll do that. That's
Yes.
Scaramanga.
He has to.
He's hosting. Listen.
Basically, he is
Yeah.
the host.
And the final question is, which movie would they be watching after dinner?
This
And we care what
would-
think a clever answer.
a funny meta answer.
Yes. So the movie that we'd watch afterwards is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes.
Purely so Scaramanga and Alec Trevelyan could watch in amazement as they appear on
Themselves.
screen. Yeah, that is a good movie.
Yeah, and if Sean Connery's Bond's there, he can see what he missed out on when he passed on the role of Gandalf.
Sharaman. That's us. That's all the questions.
Thanks
So,
for
there we
sending
go.
them over. That was I've never thought of any of those questions before.
No, it hurt my head to think of those questions, and I don't know as much as you, so it's
It was good to deep dive back into the old.
yeah, reading
Books.
the text. No, we weren't. I wasn't reading anything.
We were in the library like at Gondor where he tries to get all the maps out.
Well, that was good. Thank you
Yes.
very much for joining us in this. If you have any of those questions, if you have a very particular answer, or you have a reason to believe that we are absolutely wrong,
It's
then
probable.
why not? But yeah, this was fun. This was something different.
Yeah.
A wee Q&A quiz. Oh, we could make the food. No, we're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that. I'm in the
A-
mood
a
for like pineapple chunks, so that would be something.
Food special instead of a drink special.
Nobody wants to see that.
No, I'd set that kitchen on fire.
Just out of spite.
Well, yes, that too.
Well, that was good. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time. And again, thank you very much for Gordon for the invite.
Thanks,
And
Dream Menu.
Go and see his page because it's very, very interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.